Fuel subsidy refers to the selling of fuel at an amount less than its actual price. This is what the federal government does as it fixes the retail price of fuel at an amount less than its market value and so pays marketers the balance. From relying entirely on agriculture to produce raw materials for export and taxes to fund government activities, the discovery of crude oil and its galloping price on the international market meant huge revenues for the country. Awash with money, the federal government felt it should give something to its citizens, so it decided to subsidize the retail price of all petroleum products in the country. However, as the crude price fell, along with accruing revenue to the country, successive governments have increasingly seen the removal of subsidy as the surest way to have more funds to meet the country's development needs. The corruption in the subsidy regime, which is widely acknowledged but has defiled taming, had further given impetus to the support for removal of subsidy. The subsidy on diesel has since been removed. The removal of the subsidy on petrol is what has proved tricky and controversial.
The position of Labour has been very consistent in the past 2 decades because the issues have not changed. It is very clear that by the time you remove subsidy, it's going to affect the living condition of a larger percentage of Nigerians.
It's beyond going to the national stadium to wave green, white, green flag. It's beyond that. We have to let the people know. So if we have to go to the various communities, talk in their language and let them know. If you spend so much money or enough money to sell this to the public and they understand, they will follow.
The issue of subsidy is a delicate one. But sincerely, we must tell this country the truth. The only way we can open up this industry is by removing this subsidy. But it has to be we have to do it with a gradual process and we have to be careful. What do I mean by this?
Yes, sir.
The refineries has to work, at least, even if it is not optimally, but let it be working.
Successive governments in the country have tried to remove the remaining subsidy, with each attempt attracting stiff opposition, particularly from labor groups and the generality of Nigerians. The last attempt to remove subsidy was in 2012 by the immediate past government. The opposition was such that the country was brought to a standstill, forcing the government to backtrack from the retail price of 141 naira to 97 naira per litre. For a few years afterwards, queues disappeared at filling stations but have lately resurfaced intermittently. These disruptions in the smooth supply of fuel have equally caused disruptions in the lives of Nigerians. Many stay endless hours at fuel stations just to get fuel, and at such occasion, cost of transportation shoots up as well as cost of production in some cases. However, proponents of the removal of subsidy on the retail price of petrol argue that the failure to do away with the subsidy is only a case of postponing the inevitable.
Because the understanding of the average man on the street is the price of fuel will go up, yes, and the poor people will suffer. Okay, the so-called poor people are using public transport. Even now that we have scarcity, you are buying a liter for about 160 and all that, but they are buying, But if you deregulate, it might not be even as expensive as that.
Labour, which always led the opposition to the removal of subsidy, changes stance.
Any attempt to increase the price, because what they want to do in the name of the regulation is actually increase in the price. And that has been the trend for over 2 decades. Anytime governments have shortage of resources and they wanted to get resources is to bring the theory of the regulation in order to have resources to drive the process of development. But I think citizens and Nigerians are tired of this.
In a recent meeting with stakeholders, President Muhammadu says the federal government will review all proposals on whether to remove subsidy or not, with a view to taking appropriate action. The President noted that tampering with the price of petroleum products has an effect of triggering high costs of transportation and food, among others. According to the President, insecurity, sabotage, corruption, and mismanagement are the most serious problems of the nation's oil and gas sector under subsidy. The President says this will be dealt with in the interest of the country. Opponents are also of the view that Nigeria cannot operate in isolation, as most African countries are already enjoying the benefits of subsidy removal with revenue accruing used to improve infrastructure in their countries.
We say there's corruption there. And the government says we don't want to manage it. We want to allow market forces dictate it. And we are fighting the government. And every day we wake up, they say they have spent trillions and all of that. And we are saying probe them and all that. So why don't you should just deregulate it and then let market forces detect this, and we're enough of this corruption.
More profitable for you to import than to refine. And therefore the profit margin will be high if you are importing than refining. But when you look at the chain benefit to Nigerians and Nigeria as a country, it will be better for us to refine. We have issued licenses more than 6 years ago to investors to come and invest and build refineries to refine products for our domestic use. First is that you don't need to import these products to refine them here.
Others, however, see the issue of removal of subsidy as a conspiracy by the elite to have a ready-to-make money. While the debate continues to rage, the fortune of the oil and gas sector has also continued to dwindle due to the falling oil price, while Nigeria lost her main oil importer, the United States of America, who no longer needs the black gold from Nigeria following the discovery of shale oil. What then is the way forward? Fuel subsidy to be or not to be?